What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Special guest in the house. It's Ron Funches, comedian extraordinaire.
Thank you.
How are you, man?
Doing very well. How are you today?
I'm great. First of all, congrats on the special. I mean, it was absolutely hilarious, and we were talking off camera. It was very highly rated and the best one in 2 years on Comedy Central.
Yeah, highest rated special in the last 2 years by over 45%.
That's a man who knows his numbers right there.
It's important.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when, you know, in this job is a lot about proving to people that you are who you say you are, and you can do what you can say you can do, and sometimes other places weren't listening to me or weren't interested in what I was doing. My comedy's a little weird, you know, it's a little unique.
It's definitely unique to you, which I love.
So I had to be like, hey guys, what I put out is valuable and people want to listen to it. So that to have that validated for me is the biggest deal. So I'm going around crowing about it.
You absolutely should, no doubt about it. So let's talk about the build-up to it, because like you said, you're shopping this thing around, and obviously your style is completely authentic, but it's different from the rest of the stuff out there. So what were some of the challenges in just putting this whole thing together and finding a home for it?
The challenges were just the fact that I wanted to put together a meal. I wanted to put together a presentation of who I am. And I had done a lot of like 15-minute things or 30-minute things, or some television shows where people saw glimpses of me, but not really who I was. And I was ready. My life was changing. I was moving into a different direction. I lost a bunch of weight. And I was like, okay, like these jokes, if I keep doing them for too much longer, they don't make that much sense, you know? So I need to collect them now and present them now. And that took about a year of getting everything ordered the way I wanted, and then a whole nother year of just kind of chopping it down and getting everything as precise as I could. And then I had a showcase where I had all the different companies come out and see my act and hope that they would be interested in purchasing it. And a couple places were. Comedy Central had always been great to me, and then you know, they had the streaming sites, but they were more interested in me doing like a half hour or something a little bit smaller. And I thought about it because a lot of them have a bigger distribution as far as being worldwide and being able to see it in other countries. But more important to me than just kind of like being like, oh, here it is, and hopefully I blow up, is that like I'm about the work, you know, and to me hours are important, and it's maybe a bit of a romanticism, but it's just, to me, that's actually a special, is putting together something like that. These half hours, while great and wonderful, I'm happy that
the same thing.
I'm happy for my friends that get money, but when they're all like shot on the same stage on the same day and they look the same, you know, like that's not special. And I wanted my comedy show to be special.
Yeah, and you have put in the work. You've toured all around the country and the world, and I'm sure it was amazing for you to just have that hour to show things off. So what was the coolest part of this whole experience for you? The
coolest part of the whole experience was seeing the production side of things, learning more about putting together an opening, learning that for some reason, I was like, oh, I gotta nail this whole hour. And then I worked with a great director, great comedian, Bobcat Goldthwait, who directed my special. And he was excellent because he was like, hey, this is taped. So if you mess up, just stop. And then start over. And it was just things like that that I never thought of. And then things about advertisement and things about promoting the special that I hadn't gone through before, and I wouldn't have gone through if I had chosen to do a half hour or 15. So I feel like I'm a lot more knowledgeable about the business of comedy. And now when it aired, that's like the best thing. That's what I told my girlfriend. I was like, I made something. I made something. At the end of it, it had the name of my company on it, you know, and you can't take that away from me, and that makes me very happy. Yeah,
and something you can be proud of for many years to come and share with the people closest in your life. And I like the fact that you're able to incorporate personal stories into your comedy, and it's not just politics and religion. So how do you take life moments like the pizza situation with your son and think about incorporating that into your stand-up?
I've become just knowledgeable of anything that affects me, anything that gets me emotional. I'm like, oh, okay, this is maybe something I should write about.
People could potentially relate to it.
Yeah, they can relate to this. And even if it's I found the more personal the story, for some reason, people can relate. Even though it didn't happen to them, they can relate. And it separates me, you know, because I'm not talking, like you said, I'm not talking about politics, I'm not talking about religion, I'm not talking about the same type of things over and over.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I'm talking about things that happen in my life, and I tried to make them more universal. So when my son spills piping hot pizza all over his crotch after being mean to me all day, first of all, I want everyone to know.
Absolutely. You got to talk about that. I mean, that could have been a whole hour in and of itself.
Oh, it was a great day for me. He was being so sassy. I don't know if you're a father at all.
I'm not.
No, okay. Well, you got to look forward to, or maybe not. I don't want to put it on you.
Yeah, no, definitely want to do it one day. Yeah, but it's good to glean off information like that.
Yeah. It's just your kids. They're sweet and they're wonderful, and then sometimes they're just really jerky and
drive you crazy.
They're pushing their individuality.
Yep.
And when I'm telling my son, hey, it might be cooler if you ate this pizza with pants on.
Yeah, it would be nice,
that
right?
Would be
Maybe
nice.
Just some underwear.
Since you are amongst company.
Yeah, your buddy Gabe's just hanging out in the back there.
Maybe you should put some pants on.
Probably.
And the fact that he didn't learn why.
So why is very important in that situation.
Yeah, not that I was just trying to impress him, but I was trying to make sure that his crotch was safe.
Yes, I think that's a good move as a father. You know? That's a day one thing right there.
Yeah, protect your child's crotches.
At all costs.
Heads and crotches are the number one thing you have to protect.
Oh, man. So it's cool because people will be able to watch your special and think about that for years. And when you think about your life and comedians that you watched growing up, what are a couple of the specials that really resonated with you as a young guy?
Oh, thank you for asking that, because that informed a lot of what I was trying to do with my special. I'm a big believer in like vision boards and things and putting things up that you can see, and I put a couple of pictures of specials that I wanted my special to stand up next against, and they were John Mulaney's New in Town, and John's a big friend of mine and a mentor to me and took me out on the road when I was very young, and then Dave Chappelle's Killing Him Softly was a big deal to me, and then I've always been a fan of anything Mitch Hedberg. So those are the ones that still, like, I think about this day. If I can hear jokes in my head about the Dufresnes or the baby selling crack.
That one will stick out forever, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm new in town. You know, I just always hear in my head, and I wanted to. That's what I was focusing on, was making something. And I'm not saying mine is as good as theirs, but that was my goal.
I gotcha. So we were talking before. You spent a chunk of your life in Chicago. Tell me some favorite memories from growing up on the South Side, or when you think of Chicago, go back, what are things you got to check out?
Oh, I think of Chicago, I think of avoiding the winters.
That's a good one.
Do not go in wintertime unless you want to just shovel snow or just be trapped somewhere very cold. Also, do not go in the summer.
You got to find a very specific time to go to Chicago.
There's a small range, but Chicago is like the best city in the world. You want to go in the spring, you want to get yourself a Chicago hot dog or Italian beef, dip it in that au jus, and then you want to get, like, people always about that deep dish pizza, but I like the little thin crust Italian Fiesta pizzas.
Wow, that goes against the grain.
It does. You can get both, but to me, like, a deep dish pizza is basically a cake. You know?
It's thick.
You should eat it only on your birthday, perhaps. And just going down to Navy Pier is excellent. That's one of my favorite things to do. Seeing Soldier Field. Even if you don't go in it, it's like, you know, it's built like a Roman Coliseum. It's beautiful.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah, it's a spectacle to go see. Go in the spring, go in the early fall, but other than that,
no summer, no winter.
No, summer is hot and shooty, and and the winter's cold and shooty.
I got you. Good to know. So thinking about your comedy career, you know, you hear so many stories about people starting out in New York, people starting out in LA, and I had Finesse Mitchell in here, and he talked about starting in Miami and Atlanta, and your story. You're starting in Portland, in the West Coast. Do you think that helped you? Do you think it hurt you? How did that ultimately impact your career?
Oh, I think it definitely helped me because, A, it kept me away from people who, like agents and managers, when I wasn't good. So they didn't see me, they didn't know I wasn't good.
You needed those reps.
Yeah, they didn't write me off, you know, which is a lot of things that can happen. Your first impression is a big deal, as we know, in life in general.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I was able to go to a place in Portland where the scene was kind of growing at the same speed that I was. When I showed up, it was a wasteland. There was nothing really going on. You could go out and do shows in Idaho or Montana. I didn't want to do that, you know, and if you wanted to do do that, you kind of had to write a specific way. You had to be a little more pandery.
Right, tailoring to the audience there. Yeah.
Put yourself down, do things I don't really like to do.
Right.
And so I kind of just was like, well, I guess I'll just do shows in Portland, so I guess I'll just write about whatever I want to write about. And I think that was one of the biggest breakthroughs for me, is that I wasn't writing to get applause. I wasn't writing to pander to an audience. I was like, this is what I think is funny. And it took a little bit longer, but I think it helped me develop a voice quicker. And so I think that's one of the things people see about me now is right away, whether you like me or not, you go, okay, this guy is him, and this guy is unique. You know, and some people, and that's what I love. People see me and they either go, oh, or they go, oh.
They're gonna have a reaction to it,
yeah,
one way or another.
Yeah. And it goes with me at clubs I'm at. You know, I love it. I can see it. I think I look in the crowd and some people are just loving it. It's the best thing they've ever seen, and other people are like, I have no idea what this is, and I won't change.
No, you got to do you. That's the story right there.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So the other part of your career, which is cool, is that you've gotten into TV and movies. So how did that whole thing start up for you?
It's just, I mean, again, I think it came from that I developed my voice quickly. And so I was more of a unique persona and that people could use, and they wanted me to do like little guest roles. I started writing through Mulaney. I met Nick Kroll, and I wrote on a Kroll show. And then
Good guy to be with.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the most talented and nicest people I know. Worked with Eric Andre on his show, and then, you know, started going to acting class. I think that's important to say. It's not like it just was happening.
Right. You got to build it out.
Yeah, I went to some auditions, and then they were like, maybe you shouldn't audition anymore until you go to class. But I went to class, and the best thing I learned from acting right away is that it gave me the same thrills, it gave me the same fear, it gave me the same excitement as stand-up. So I was like, oh, I want to do this, I just need to get better. And so I just got into class, I've been working out a lot at it, and then it's been going well. I just booked a movie with Charlene Yee and Adam Devine that was shot in January, and it's like the biggest part I've had in a movie, and I'm excited. I got to make out with a lady.
Oh, wow. I guess we'll all look forward to seeing that then.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, you just hit on it, the thrill versus the fear of stand-up comedy. So when you're out there in front of the mic in the crowd, what is the percentage breakdown of thrill versus fear?
It's, you know, as I get more experience, it changes, you know. It used to be about 80% fear and 20% thrill. It's getting more into 60% thrill now, 40% fear, especially now that I'm transitioning from my old hour into new material. Right. The fear is up again.
The fear never stops.
No, I think when the fear stops, you're bored, and you probably shouldn't be
complacent. You don't want that.
You shouldn't be doing it anymore. No. I get fearful because I want to do well. I don't want to disappoint people who come to see me. Maybe they've driven or traveled, and or maybe this is their first time seeing me, and I don't want to make a bad first impression. So. Well, for the most part, I just want to have fun and be me. I don't want to let myself down.
I feel you.
So, but I think when there's no fear and there's no thrill, you just shouldn't be doing it. If you're just doing it for a check, like, what's the point?
No, you don't want to be about that life.
No.
Definitely not.
You want check.
Yeah, you want to get paid, but you don't want it to be just about the check.
No, both, hand in hand. Give me a bunch of money for doing the things I love.
And now you're doing both.
Yes.
Awesome. Giggle Fit is hilarious. Where can people check it out now?
They can get it on ComedyCentral.com or this Comedy Central app right now, free, no login. Normally they got to log in. It's not there. You can just click and get in just as easy as Netflix or any other place. But if you want to get it, if you want to do me a solid, you can get it on iTunes, commercial free, Google Play, Amazon Prime Video.
Get a little money in the pocket there.
$5 and under too.
Not
so
bad.
you can get it anywhere. PlayStation Network, Microsoft Store. It is literally everywhere.